Today is the 14th July 2026. I'm doing another practice of keeping my eye contact, showing and using my hands a little bit more. And today I don't really feel that well. I feel very uneasy. I have a restlessness inside of me, and I feel a little bit more of all pain that's currently triggered by things that are going on. I was a little bit uneasy already and restless yesterday, but today I had some situation in the morning that just increased this a little bit of an anxiety, a little bit of restlessness, a little bit of uneasiness, a little bit of pain and discomfort that I just have now. I don't know what the word should be to describe it, but let's just leave it at this. So I'm not really feeling at my best mentally right now. Physically, I'm actually quite well currently. Mentally, I'm just sadly not, and I have to deal with this negative energy inside of me, and I know it can be very dangerous for me. It can really make me fall and stumble and bring back bad old habits that can keep going over a few days. And so I really have to take care of that today. How am I taking care of it? I'm trying first to take things easy. I'm doing this with this practice. I'm not trying to skip it still today, but just taking it very lightly. I'm just keeping it focused on the eye contact, keeping a little bit with the hand gesturing, practicing that a little bit, and then forgetting mostly about the topic and not doing any with structures or whatever. The thumbnail will just be a picture of me. So taking it easy with the practice, taking it easy a little bit more general today and the next days. Wanting to try to focus a little bit on being a little bit active in these days and doing something that's fun. I hope I can play some games with a friend a little bit later on. We'll see if I can get to that. It's a little bit of distraction with other people can really help me in these moods and in these situations. Other than that, what I'm planning is more, I'm going a lot more for walks right now. It's always good for me to just get out, get myself a little bit away from being in my room alone with myself, having the chance to maybe think about stuff. I mean, that's not that I can't think in walks, but just getting out, getting new impressions, seeing other stuff, getting in the fresh air, getting a little bit of just moving helps a lot of times to make it a little bit easier. Other than that, I will hope that I can do after this maybe again another yoga session that just hopefully brings me a little bit down and just in general try to focus on stuff that's maybe fun. Sadly, I'm at a period where I work from a game development. I'm currently working on a voxel editor. I'm kind of at the point where I'm mostly done with like features that I can see I will very much need them to do simple voxel art. So I'm very much at a point where I might have some bugs that I'm not that aware of or that I could test off, but it's also not the most fun to just work and then search and fix bugs. It would be fun to work on new features, but I have ideas for new features, but I think I'm very much in the state with my voxel editor where I just have to use it and test it, which also means I would have to go into learning art a little bit more, and this is not the right mood to get myself into working a little bit with art and trying to do. I mean, maybe a little bit later, but I think right now, especially like in this hour, around this time, that's not the time period to go into that. That's a little bit too much friction, a little bit too much hesitation, a little bit too much anxiety involved with that, and that can lead me on the wrong path. And so I have to find a way how I can enjoy myself a little bit more and just increase a little bit more fun, take it a little bit more easy, relax, breathe, move a little bit, not be too passive, not have too much time on just thinking and not just being in negative things. I have to create positive experiences around myself while keeping it easy, not much pressure, which is a difficult thing. When I'm down, I tend to pull back, I tend to do less, I tend to get a little bit more passive, and I kind of have to push against that a little bit and be a little bit more proactive, be a little bit more active, do a little bit more, try to do something that is fun. ideally do something with other people. For myself, I have to also try to avoid to just like watch series or shows, which I tend to, or like YouTube videos, something like that. That's a little bit, that is not the worst thing to do, but it's also not the best. It doesn't create the most active, positive feelings. And so it's not the best tool that I could use to shape my experience currently. I have to be a little bit more active. So one of the things I could look into is maybe like trying out a few new games. I have a really huge free Epic Games library over the years that I collected. So I could look into maybe I can play some of them. Maybe I could look in the Viewfinder. I think I got this around Christmas. It's a very nice photo-based puzzle game that I have on my to playlist kind of since the Christmas, since this game was available. So maybe I could just take the time today and look into that. Have a little bit of fun with that game and get a nice experience with that. Get a little bit of progress where I had this game for a long time on my list and never got it. Maybe today I should just do that. Maybe like after my US session, I would just head into a viewfinder. So yeah, those are the things that I try to do when I'm in this mood to kind of try to push a little bit back to create a little bit more of a positive experience. Really have to focus on things that are fun and that are also easy and doable, which is not always a nice balance. Again, a lot of times when I feel really down or I have this unease, I'm very much easily pulled into old, mostly bad habits. And also I also just tend to be more passive. I tend to just then not want to do much, not want to engage into things, not want necessarily to dream something with others. I tend to isolate myself. I tend to do less. I tend to become more passive. And I mean, watching movies and shows and YouTube videos can be enjoyable, but especially in that kind of mindset, I think trying to be active as much as possible. I mean, I will watch something and be a little more passive, but there's time I will do this more in the evening, maybe like in between when I need like a little bit of a break and just like a little bit of relaxing and just breathing and just chilling a little bit. I will do this in between, but I really have to seek and to keep it up, that every like in an interval maybe I can do something a little bit more active. When with active, I don't in general mean something that's like physical, necessarily engaging or exhausting. I just mean something that's proactive, something where I do something, I engage something, I choose something, and I do it. In that sense, active and not passive. I just do my usual habits and be passive, just consuming, just watching something. So I'm more active in taking control over what I do and trying to do something that is enjoyable, that is fun, that is easy, that is just relaxing. So those are the things that I tend to that I find help me. It's not necessarily an easy thing. It's also not those things and these moods, these old pains and this anxiety and the discomfort that comes in many ways just from a triggering of past experiences that are very strong and intense and deeply rooted. These are like old shadows that haunt me in a little bit. And dealing with them, it's not always easy. I forgot actually where I wanted to go with this thought. Dealing with them is not easy. I don't remember what I wanted to say now. I wanted to get with that. But yeah. I don't know. I just forgot. It's gone again. And now I'm just staring into the camera and not knowing what to say, which doesn't matter. This video is about nothing. This is just, which is good. Practicing keeping eye contact, practicing using my hands. I do recognize that when I feel insecure, I'm grabbing my hands a little more when I'm showing them, which is probably not the nicest thing to watch, because I think it feels a lot more insecure when it is a comforting thing. Grabbing it, like rubbing it. This is a comforting mechanism. which is not good necessarily as a viewing experience. But yeah, I'm aware of that. I also just go in another direction. Currently, I'm thinking a lot more about the direction of this channel, because currently I'm drifting a little bit more from where I think I might head. Currently, I'm again pivoting a little bit more where I'm thinking maybe I want to do a bit more in the direction of game development, and want to actually focus again maybe a little bit more on that. On one side, because I just enjoy it so much, and I just feel doing these practices, I don't feel a very big urge for myself to engage in like the topics that I had in plan and like do more videos on that. I don't feel that as necessary, which I'm not sure if that just comes from, well, how these practices are going. They're just so passive, and they're just like guided by my emotions, so I just kind of try to let go and let them progress, and then every now and then give them like a little bit of a nudge, but kind of just following the flow of how they're going. That's currently how I'm doing these practices very much. And so I'm not really sure if I'm just if there's just no connection from, oh, I want to do a topic and I want to do this. But I also don't think that's necessarily something that I feel like in general, because creating videos, it's not necessarily something that comes from, oh, I want to create videos. It's in many ways more so a tool for me to then do something, and even trying to make a channel more so about my emotions and maybe mentals and like what I learned of my behavior and my thoughts and my emotions. That's more so kind of the direction of the emotional channel that I was going for, or that I have planned with the start of this channel. And I'm just unsure if that's something that I can actually progress for one reason that's, I think, actually a little bit more rooted and a little bit more valid, is more so that I feel it can be very difficult to talk about these things. I'm not sure how long I want to do this. I'm not sure how, because if I make myself and my work with emotions and with thoughts and with behavior and with my mentals, if I make that the core of my channel, trying to get attention through that means I think that the biggest chance to get attention with that will be just also very interesting and very personal and very deep videos, but there are not that many topics that I can make about it. Like there are not that many stories in my life that I can sell to people, and putting that at front is, well, just on a privacy thing, just from how it feels and how the pressure would then be if there are actually more viewers that demand things and that want things, and I feel the pressure. I'm a little bit more now on the worry, will I be able to keep that up? Will I want to do this still in 3 years, in 4 years? Is that then still something that I want to do? I'm not sure. That's something where I see maybe less, so that I feel like the tendency that I feel currently is, I probably don't want to do this for that long. So maybe it's not that sustainable as a topic for me. I'm in many ways I've also started more on this topic because I just feel it's easier to have something to talk about. Just have a topic that I can just pick and talk about. It's a lot easier than with game dev, where I have to just develop and do things. And at best, if it's an easy content, it would be more so tutorials, but just for normal game dev, that's not really what I can do. So game development videos are a lot more time consuming, while these emotional journey kind of videos that I can make about what I learn and how I deal with my emotions and my thoughts and my behavior, they're a lot less time intensive. Even if I would prepare a lot more and I would make this videos a lot more planned, there would be a lot less time per video, and that would, with the time that I can even bring up consistently to work on something. It's kind of one of the big reasons why I'm trying to do this. from a logistics standpoint. I'm then very interested in the topic, but it's also currently a little bit lower currently, so my interest in just engaging with that right now is also not that high. So that's maybe a thing why, because I feel like maybe that's currently going down, because just my interest in general is like not anymore that focused on it as it was years ago. Yeah, and so I'm thinking about, or that's currently just a tendency where maybe I tend more and lean a little bit more into the game development side. I mean, you already talked in a few of the reflections that that's something that I want to experiment with. And I think a lot about, should I like just rebrand this channel and make it a little bit more neutral with the experimentation, so it's a little bit just more neutral, and maybe make this channel just in its branding, because currently it's very much mentally branded. Maybe I should just brand it more about me, and just not give it a fixed direction. So I'm thinking a little bit more about rebranding and renaming this channel a little bit, to just have it a little bit neutral, and then we will see where we're heading. I already overpassed the time quite a bit, which is good. Let's just talk. It just shows I feel actually quite comfortable talking about these things. And doing this practice, it actually feels good. I feel a lot more focused and present right now, and it feels better now. I feel better having done this. I hope you have a nice day. I mean, not that I'm actually wishing this anyone, but anyway, have a nice day.